The fact remains, we all see the footage of the drunk wasted night. The fact remains, you do have a sealed case and the penal code is grand theft auto, identity fraud, etc. Let's focus on the identity fraud, honey, and the fact that you have a sealed case, honey. Let's not focus on me Googling in a system, because if I did, you can't prove it, because every content creator on Twitter has reposted it. So who knows? And guess what? You could doctor a DM and say I sent it to them. So who cares? Because whether I put it out there or not, it's out there and you have a sealed case against you. Focus back on that. Like, why aren't we bringing the conversation back to that? Welcome to Cocktails and Gossip, the podcast where we drink cocktails, but you better believe we're going to spill the tea. We chat reality TV, celebrity blinds, and the hottest tea from BravoandCocktails.com. And as always, it's all alleged and just for fun. We do not verify our blinds. I'm B.
And I'm Amanda. Let's get into this week's tea.
What's up, cocktail party? Hello, Amanda.
Hi, everybody. Hi, B.
I just want to first take the opportunity to send our love and prayers to the island of Jamaica, of course, Cuba, Bahamas, and all of the islands. I know other islands were affected by the aftermath, but I think that Jamaica got hit the hardest from Hurricane Melissa. As listeners, you guys know my sister-in-law is Jamaican. She does have family in Jamaica. I thank you guys all so much for checking in, like incredible in my DMs and remembering that I have extended family there. I've been sharing relief efforts. Please do DM me or email us any relief efforts you come across, obviously, that are legitimate, nobody's personal Venmos. I always try to help with natural disasters. Amanda and I like to post like where we're helping the greatest amount of people, not like one singular family, obviously, right. Communities of people. But it's so sad.
It is. It's scary that it's literally the strongest hurricane that's ever hit Jamaica as a country ever, as long as records have been taken. I have been praying for all of the people there, and I hope that everyone in your extended family and friends are safe. You guys know we send out a newsletter on Fridays. If you want to sign up, it is just scroll down to the bottom of the website at bravoandcocktails.com. In the newsletter, we have put some resources where we can all help. One of those places, so one of them is Global Empowerment Mission, I believe is the name. And that is who Bethany Frankel's Be Strong Foundation has been associated with. And we know that they are really focused on getting supplies. They literally have a couple of cargo planes and I want to say a container ship full of things already headed towards Jamaica. But you'll see those resources in the newsletter. And yes, if there are any other ones that are really good, we're always happy to post them. And also, because we know a lot of families may be facing some food uncertainty, we also included in the newsletter some ways that we can all, as a community, help with that in the newsletter. So before we get into gossip as well, I wanted to remind you guys that BravoCon is in 2 weeks. So
we're prepping, guys. We are in like full prep mode.
We are. And like we literally have we have a plan of attack for how it's all going to work. But we'll be manning the DMs. As you guys know, B is always so good about that. Discord for those of you guys who are cocktail party members. And if you're not, you should become one so that you can stay on the Discord. It's going to be exciting. And then the Send Us Tea inbox. And then, we have our emails, bravoandcocktails@gmail.com and Amanda@bravoandcocktails.com. So if you're there and you hear tea, please send it to us. And then
send us pictures too.
Yes, send us pictures. We can actually get pictures and videos through the Send Us Tea inbox as long as the files aren't like crazy big. But for those of you who can't make it to BravoCon, we will be sharing all kinds of content. We'll have a presence there. It's so exciting.
Yes, we're excited. We are going to get you the most up-to-date tea. It is like my mission to, you guys know, that's like my favorite part is getting it out very fast.
First.
Yes, first. Amanda. So last week, Kate Casey was on. She recommended No One Saw Us Leave. It is limited series on Netflix about a mother searching for her children after her husband kidnaps them and takes them abroad. It's a drama. It explores the painful separation, the stigma the mother faces, and her relentless pursuit. It was a really hard watch for me. And I had to stop because I was like, I started it, then had a carpool. And like, I almost didn't want to go back to watch it because it was painful.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was also like, I couldn't not watch it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I usually like more light watches, but it was really good. And then, of course, like I don't want to spoil anything, but it was a hard watch. It was hard.
Yeah, I started it with my husband. We both got drawn in immediately. We haven't finished it yet, but we will finally have some downtime this weekend, believe it or not, to finish that. We've got some other shows we put on the back burner too. I did start to watch, as I was cooking on Sunday, the RHOSLC show that Kate also told us about. It's called Back to Reality. And I think I mentioned this on the show on our podcast last week. I was not a fan of the RHOSLC. I, of course, had seen it, but I really like it. It's very different.
I need to do that.
Yeah, it's not...
Because I was never really I didn't care about them one way or the other. I didn't dislike them, but like if it was on in the background, I wasn't like, oh, this is bad, but I didn't like love watching it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, and it's interesting because if you'll remember, the youngest son, Grayson, was always kind of the one with the sharp tongue and very sassy. And, you know, he's in college and his parents are in prison. And, you know, talking to him, you know, he is very honest about how he feels about the cameras and how he's given so much, all of his life pretty much to the cameras, and how now there's certain things that he just doesn't want to give to the cameras. Anyway, it's very interesting. It's really interesting. Like, as Kate said, it's a totally different perspective. I think it's fascinating. So I've only gotten one episode. So Todd and Julie have not gotten home yet. So I'm going to continue watching it because it's really good.
Guys, we have so much good stuff today. But we have to mention this because I forget if we mentioned that Danielle was spotted filming last week. I think we did. Danielle for Summer House. And I realized that if we did mention it, we left out a really important piece that if you're not a subscriber, you may not even know about. So, hot tea. Over the summer, we get an email, right? And it was anonymous, and I posted it. And basically, okay, I'm just going to read the email. How about that?
Okay, yeah.
Summer House homewrecker. The former Summer House girl is a homewrecker. Yes, Lindsay's former best friend, the guy she's with, and finally posted his face because before it was just his arm, his leg, etc. Well, he's my friend's husband, and they've been having an affair. She has known he's been married since they started the affair in the spring. He's Irish and is in the hospitality industry. They are now getting divorced, her friend and the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Since the Summer House alum loves to splatter her life all over social media, that's how my friend found out about her husband cheating.
Oh.
Biggest pick-me energy I've seen in my life, and she's almost 40. So when everybody was like shocked, I was kind of shocked that people were shocked, because when we posted this email, it must have been a sideline conversation that you and I had. Like, well, they're going to put her on the spinoff because, listen, I love Andrea and his wife, and Yvonne Nager and her husband. Like, I'm sure they'll make good TV, but Danielle is in that friend group somewhat, right?
Yeah.
How are you not going to put this on the show?
Well, I mean, I would be shocked if they didn't. I think what is so sad is that...
And I just want to say one more thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She never came out and denied it, because when she made a post, a lot of our cocktailers were commenting. She limited comments. She deleted it. I'm sorry, but if I were a public figure and I was constantly publicly posting and I did ask me anything and all these sort of things, and it wasn't true, I would say, by the way, there's a rumor going around that my guy was married. Like, she has addressed things before, and she did not address this, which leads us to all believe it's true.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've seen the picture that she's posted. And like I said, what's so sad about this is that it has been so blatant. Like, she didn't even try to hide it. So I feel terrible for the wife that she found out.
Well, he's not famous, so like, we don't know that he was married. We only know because this person said it.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like it's not like she like if it weren't true, wouldn't she come on her Instagram platform and be like, by the way, my boyfriend's not married, never was, or by the way, my boyfriend's been separated from his wife for 2 years. This is nonsense, right?
Yes. Yes.
So
Exactly.
it's got to be true. Otherwise, she would have denied it because it did swirl a little bit.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
as you always say, how you get them is how you lose them. So we'll see how long that lasts.
I got that from my girl, Wendy Williams. So I know you guys don't want Danielle back, and certainly I don't, but this is a really good storyline, and we're going to need it. Kyle and Lindsay are going to bring drama too.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't know that the other people are super exciting, which doesn't mean they're not good TV, right? It just means that we're not going to turn our backs to a scandal. So if we're going to have Danielle, let's expose her if it is true that she's home wrecking. You know, her app hasn't really gone anywhere that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the tea on why we think, of course, all alleged, but why we think Homegirl was seen filming.
I guess we'll see. I guess next summer. So I wanted to talk about Potomac for a minute. I have a few bones to pick with these women. You and I both have daughters. Giselle has 3. You know, I'm sure your daughter does this too. My daughter watches me very closely when it comes to how I treat other women, how I encourage her to treat other people, especially when we don't like them. And I feel like, and I know you feel this way too, like I have to lead by example. I feel like, Giselle, you need to be ashamed of yourself. I mean, some of the stuff that happened in this last episode, I was just kind of disgusted. All of these women come down, you know, to Nevis, and she puts personalized robes with everyone's name on them, flowers, a card, a makeup bag with everyone's name on them in everyone's room, except for Stacy's. And I don't think that's shady. I think that's mean. And Wendy kind of calls Giselle out on it at dinner. But then Wendy says, I'm just glad the mean girl attention isn't on me, which to me, I feel like is almost as bad as Giselle. And then the women all give Angel such a hard time about editing her pictures, and literally no one stood up for her, at least not that we saw. It's just, it hurt my heart. And you guys know I am no fan of Stacy. I don't know Angel well enough at all, but I cannot imagine. I'm sitting there watching and thinking, I'm like, would this ever happen on a girls' trip? Would women call each other out? No, it's awful. I'm just curious what your thoughts are about this.
I'm obviously in agreement. The Stacy of it all, I think the Stacy piece I find so hypocritical because Giselle of all people doesn't like Stacy because she thinks she lied about a relationship. Meantime, Giselle lied about Jason from Winter House. Giselle omitted that she's dating a football player, which I'm good for Stacy for calling her out on at that dinner.
Yeah.
And not getting her a personalized robe. Grow up. First of all, it's not like it was barefoot like that cool luxury brand. It looked like a basic Betty robe anyway and makeup bag. You could keep it. And the Angel thing, again, every housewife across every franchise edits themselves. So I more so found it such a reach and completely bizarre because they were showing pictures and of other people and not one among them isn't edited.
Yeah.
Like they all edit.
They all edit it.
And I forget who it was. What's the English lady's name? Tia. I think Tia said in her confessional, and I wish she would have said it at the table, but she was like, Angel's also postpartum, and I'm sorry, but anybody who has had a baby, your whole body changes, and your face definitely does change. And sometimes, you're filled with fluids or hormones, or I don't know. I'm not a physician, but I do know, like, even when I lost the quote-unquote baby weight, my hips were just bigger for a while. Like, it didn't make any sense because I'm standing on the scale and the scale was my pre-pregnancy weight. And in some cases, even a little bit less because, you're stressed out. You're running around after my second, right? Because I had a toddler and I had a baby. But for whatever reason, the shape of my body was different. And I know my mom, this didn't happen to me, but when my mom, after she had my brother, her nose was always a little bit wider. It just grew. It just never went back. Some people's feet grow. Some people's noses grow.
My rib cage. There's a couple of dresses that, like, even though I got down below pre-baby weight, could not get those dresses on anymore. Because think about it. You've got a giant baby shoved up there and, like, my ribs got bigger.
That's exactly right.
I think it's awful. It's inexcusable. I don't like what is going on. It's just, I mean, they always have their shade, but I don't ever remember them just being this flat out mean, especially to a new girl.
Especially to a new girl who has done nothing to them. And Giselle is like supermodel gorgeous. So it even comes off worse from her.
It does.
I'm just going to say it because there's pretty, right? There are no non-attractive housewives, right? And again, everyone has different styles and different tastes, and like who I find super attractive. You know, Amanda and I never have the same taste in men, for example. But like Giselle is a person who universally, if you see her, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
So like for her to diss, and she was specifically dissing her face.
Yes.
Like, I would probably cry.
I can't believe it. I was just going to say, I can't believe Angel didn't cry. I was really impressed, actually, that she held the tears in. I especially on a boat where there's nowhere to run. I mean, I was impressed with how Angel handled it, honestly.
When the weather gets chilly, comfort food starts calling my name. Soups, stews, and yummy baked goods are my go-to to make in the kitchen. This week, I made Italian penicillin, chicken pastina soup, in one of my caraway pots. The glass lid made with premium tempered glass for non-toxic cooking with a view. My caraway cookware and bakeware makes all of my comfort cooking so much more enjoyable because the cleanup is so much easier. With my old pots and pans, I had to soak them and scrub them. And even after spending so much time doing that, there would still be stains and debris from the food. With caraway, I am amazed at how easily the cookware cleans. It's such a huge time saver. Here are some scary but true stats, guys. You could ingest up to 10 grams of plastic a year from eating plastic-wrapped leftovers and meals. Over 70% of cooking and baking pans sold in America are coated with PTFE. And finally, microwaving plastic for 3 minutes can release over 4 million microplastics. Aside from the fact that caraway is beautiful and it cleans easily, it is non-toxic. And it is so important that we use non-toxic cooking supplies. The holidays are closer than ever, so get their gift and yours in time. Visit carawayhome.com/gossip to take advantage of this limited time offer for up to 20% off your next purchase. Again, that's carawayhome.com/gossip to get new kitchenware before the holidays. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern. I'll be honest with you. I am struggling with Potomac. I really like the new girls. I like Tia. I like Angel. I'm struggling a little bit because I am so distracted by the Osifo's insurance fraud.
Mm-hmm. That diamond necklace that Wendy was wearing on the boat.
Yes.
I'm like, I know. I'm constantly just looking at Wendy. I completely agree.
And her holier than thou. I can't.
I know. So let's break down Salt Lake City. So this episode was the Below Deck crossover. We know we'll get next week as well. And we just heard Andy Cohen say on Call Her Daddy that there will be 3 episodes of Salt Lake City on Below Deck, which is quite exciting. I mean, seeing Chef Ben and Daisy and Captain Jason, it was a lot of, I thought it was so much fun. And especially that we got to see the cast reactions to the drama and what they were saying behind the scenes, that everybody was mic'd up. So, I have a lot of thoughts about this episode. I'm sure you do too.
I have to tell you what I immediately thought. I don't know why I thought it, because obviously I've watched Below Deck so many times, but I guess like watching the woman go on the boat, I'm like, how I wish I could go on a yacht like this. Like, I don't often have that like genuine feeling of like, I wish I could do this, because like we understand these are mostly women with aspirational lives and lives. Will you hear me? Mm-hmm. Lives. And a lot of things are out of reach for us normal folk. But boy, seeing that boat, I was like, I want to do that. But anyway, aside from that.
So let's do it together.
Right. But here's my question. They must have Dramamine on there, and that must just not be working for poor Angie, right?
Oh, I was thinking that too, and that they probably have there's those pressure point bracelets. There's actually glasses. There's all kinds of things, but Angie seems to have a pretty severe case.
I was worried about her getting dehydrated.
Well, yeah. I mean, if she keeps yakking like that, she's going to need an IV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with Heather's what she admitted.
Oh my God. Heather slipping and saying she hooked up with Captain Jason. And the way she said it, it was almost like, did they hook up? Were they just flirty? Like, I couldn't really put my finger on it because then she was like, delete that. Or did she just not want like to out? I don't know.
Well, or did she? I thought the same. I was like, did she mean like they hooked up, like they like met up? But I think you only say hook up. I would never say hook up about anybody. She
definitely said it in like a we fooled around kind of way.
Yeah.
And like, listen, they're both single. Good for her. But Chef Ben coming out to say hello and then just being like, oh, fuck this. When they were all yelling, I love him. I can't wait to see. And I think we all, and a lot of people are like, why didn't they make it so that Below Deck was airing at the same time as Salt Lake City? But like, yes, of course, they probably should have. But what difference does it make? Because it's something to look forward to. And seeing it from the crew's point of view is going to be classic.
Well, and it'll get me to, because you guys know I'm not the biggest Below Deck watcher. I like to watch it when it's just on, but it's not appointment television for me. Although there are certain folks that I really enjoy, and I like Captain Jason, and of course love Chef Ben, who had absolutely zero patience for these women. I would be so curious to get, and if somebody sees any of these folks at BravoCon, just try to get them to the side and to tell you if these were the worst guests they've ever had on the yacht.
Wait, I just had a really good idea.
Oh, what?
Guys, if you think of like questions you want asked at BravoCon, email them to us and like I'll make a master post and just put it out there like on our website. And this way people can look it over and just to jog your memory, maybe while you're getting ready for BravoCon, just like, what questions would people?
Great idea. I love that.
Right? Because that is such a good question.
We're on this BravoCon stuff.
Yes.
So at the beginning of the episode, the women go down to Have you ever heard of Canawan?
No, but it looked beautiful.
I know, it really does.
And it's on Billionaire Island, which is why we haven't heard of it.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly why.
They said this is where billionaires go.
Oh, yeah. I guess we're not invited. But yeah, never heard of it. Would love to visit. Bronwyn comes late. I'm guessing, yes, to partially avoid the women jumping on the allegations, which I don't think they would do during traveling anyway, but also probably because she wanted to fly private or just by herself. We know Angie got really seasick. Mary, as a good friend, stays by her side down in the cabin. And I thought this was a little crazy to me because I would not be having this if I was seasick. Because Mary eats a full meal and dessert in bed right next to Angela.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, I probably would be like, I love you. Thank you so much for staying. But can you just like eat that somewhere else and come back? Because
then come
that
back
would make me more sick.
Yeah.
The smells.
But I mean, clearly Angie was okay with it. And again, true friendship with those
I love when Angie goes, I'm so glad you talk to yourself because I can't even really say much right now. I feel like so weak.
So you can entertain us both.
I love it. And then the evolution of Mary has just been the most incredible thing. I mean, across all franchises, I think she is somebody who went from like everybody thinking she was a bad person to just loving her.
Absolutely. And they can hear that upstairs, the women are fighting. So Meredith and Brittany start in when Bronwyn brings up the fact that Brittany has been talking smack on Lisa and on Meredith. And Brittany, in what I think was very, very distasteful, had said previously to Bronwyn that Meredith, quote unquote, has seizures. As someone who has adult friends who have had this, who have had kids who have had this, like, it is a truly terrible thing to say. But again, Brittany is just not, I just don't think all the lights are on with her.
Yeah.
Then Meredith throws her water at Brittany. Brittany turns around to reach for a glass. I don't know if you clocked this. She starts to pick up the red wine and she's like, wait, no, grabs a glass of water instead. So I got to give her a little credit for showing a little restraint there instead of throwing red wine all over everyone and the boat.
A cocktailer actually said to me, how come people made such a big deal about Gertie having water thrown at her, but not Brittany? And I think it's because they threw it at each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of became a mutual thing.
Do you think Brittany held back from the wine because she was more worried about getting kicked off the boat or about getting the other women's clothes stained?
I couldn't possibly begin to know what goes on inside that woman's brain. So I don't know. It could just be that she wanted to drink the wine. See, if it were me, I would be like, well, shit, I'm not wasting my glass of wine on this. I'll just do the water.
Oh, that's so true.
But I don't know what her train of thought.
I don't think there's much for that.
I don't travel with a stuffed animal with my husband saying, baby, you are loved.
Oh my God, it's so creepy. So creepy. And the fact that she was showing it off, it's like, lady, come on. So the fight turns back to Lisa. Heather tells the whole table and Lisa that she thinks Lisa is the source of all the dirt. And of course, Lisa flips out. And then Meredith, weak sauce, refuses to stand up to Lisa, the Dawn of Salt Lake City. I don't know if you picked this up, but in a total Dawn move, Lisa, when she gets up and goes to Heather and like grabs both sides of her face, just like the Godfather, and she's like, you know everything I know. It was a kind of a Dawn move, but it also made me wonder what are they holding back? Because when Lisa says, if you believe us, I can't be your friend, and they look at each other and it looks like there's so much that's unsaid.
I have to say something.
Okay.
Heather plans too much, and watching her and Whitney bring Meredith into the room and try to get her to attack Lisa with them at the table. And Meredith was like, I'm not doing it. Like Meredith was very upfront. Like, listen, Lisa may have done this, or it could be a coincidence, but it's not. She basically was like, it's not my fight. If she did it, that's messed up. And certainly Bronwyn has every right to be mad if she dug this up. But I don't know. I don't have proof that she did it. And I'm not going there. And like, we started this season with Heather, like, backing Lisa so hard. So was she always planning on like putting on the show of being such a great friend and then going to like, but I have to say something about what she's doing because it's just too much now. Like, do you know what I mean?
100%. And I've had this exact same thought. Like, did Heather ever really come around to Lisa and really genuinely become her friend? Or, like you said, was it strategic? And did she just pretend like she did? Because this isn't the first time she's tried to talk to Meredith about confronting Lisa. She did it on the walk when they had their coffee and they were walking through the park.
Yes. And let's also acknowledge a very important thing here. Heather didn't turn on her when it was lawsuits against Lisa and it was bad for Lisa. She supported her through that because she's a good friend. She didn't kick her while she was down, right?
Right.
But she went in on saying that she retaliated against Bronwyn the same way she's retaliated on all of them. And she's the one who brought the dirt. Now, here's the thing. If she had proof, timeline, receipts on the fact that Lisa did it, that would be one thing.
Right.
But she really doesn't. And honestly, Lisa's reaction made her seem guilty, but that's just Lisa's personality. And honestly, the way that accounts research, it is quite possible that a Twitter account or an Instagram account or somebody, some fan, found this out and made posts about it and it got picked up. I mean, it swirled all over the internet. It is impossible for us to know if Lisa did it.
Yeah.
So if Heather is truly Lisa's friend, I'm with Meredith. Correlation doesn't equal causation. So why are you turning so hard on her for something that is an assumption? It's totally possible, but you could also go the Meredith way and say, number one, it's not my fight to fight, right? It isn't my stuff that she put out there. Heather is not close with Bronwyn herself. Even when she went to see Angie and Mary after, she's like, yeah, and I just yelled at her, and I'm not even good friends with Bronwyn. And of course, Angie and Mary were happy about it because they're not the biggest fans of Lisa. So, you know, they're like, good for you. You did the right thing. But the reality is, did you do the right thing? If I'm your friend, it's one thing if I have proof. We're on a show. There's proof right in front of us that you did this.
Yeah.
Okay. But She could have just gone Meredith's way, and she didn't. Because why? Because she wanted to make a storyline. She wanted to embarrass Lisa. She wanted to call Lisa out, all of those things. And then afterwards, when Lisa was like on the phone with John and she was like saying to her, I did a good thing for you.
Yeah.
She's holier than thou. Like, no, I'm doing right by you. You need to look in the mirror and see what you're doing and stop doing that. Like, as Delulu as Lisa is, so is Heather. Who is Heather? Is she there's something about her that she's like I don't know, of justice, you know? She's the mediator of justice. She's gonna do the right thing. Bullshit. I'm not buying it.
Well, I think this particular situation was sloppy from Heather, because I think Heather generally does tend to have things a little bit more thought out. But in this case, to your point, there's no proof as of yet. Right. And Heather should know better, that it almost can make her look bad. And you can tell when things don't go the way that Heather is sort of hoping that they will, because Heather then chases Lisa all over the boat, and right. I am your friend and I'm not leaving you, and et cetera, because Heather realizes that she took it too far, and that
she was drunk, so she probably went a little further than she wanted to go. And also she should have known that Meredith wasn't gonna back her, because Meredith essentially told her that. And Whitney can't really, because Whitney and Lisa aren't on the best footing. But she wasn't banking on Angie and Mary not being there. She thought she'd have them to back her up.
Well, and I do think that they all believe that Lisa has done this. And I mean, you know, Mary doesn't have a lot of anything one way or the other with Lisa. You can tell she doesn't like her, but
right.
There hasn't been anything one-on-one where they've really gone for each other. Not that I can think of. You can tell they all believe that Lisa does feed information to the quote-unquote blogs and to the press, but with Heather not having proof, or Heather not having a screenshot, which is almost what you kind of feel like the rest of the table is waiting to hear, and then she doesn't have it. I don't know.
That's why housewives are so smart to utilize us, because they can just go to our website, send us the tea anonymously, put it all in an email, and we honestly never know who sent it unless you put a real email in. If you write jacksmith@bravo.com, it sends to us as that, just through our portal, and we never know where it comes from.
Right. And I think the last thing I was just going to say on this is that I've always liked Heather. I feel in this case like and you guys know, I am not a Lisa fan. I feel like Heather's kind of done Lisa dirty.
Yes.
If she really did go befriend Lisa, fully knowing that she was going to turn on her again.
Yeah, I agree. And we don't know if that's the case.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, Lisa, I also felt watching the episode, it was unnecessary for Heather to do it, because Lisa does it to herself. Bronwyn, as a matter of fact, what we heard on Watch What Happens Live, which I thought was so interesting, Lisa said that it must have been edited, but initially Bronwyn thought it was Whitney and like accused Whitney. So why did Lisa act so defensive? Like, nobody called your name. Bronwyn wasn't like, and I know it was you, Lisa. So just sit there and listen like everybody else, but she can't. Whether she's guilty or she just doesn't know how to shut up, she can't. So Heather overplayed her hand, period.
I agree. Well, let's talk about what we know about Bronwyn's, I'm going to say, quote unquote case. She's faced allegations of grand theft and identity theft related to a case in San Francisco, which she maintains was dismissed and sealed. We knew this was coming because we did way back when report on the fact that Bronwyn did not come at the same time as the ladies on their trip. So it finally did kind of all come up, and reportedly the charges against Bronwyn in San Francisco were from March 2021, and they were reportedly 5 counts of grand theft, 1 count of identity theft. The case reportedly involved theft by an employee aggregating more than $950 over a 12-month period. While each charge could potentially carry up to 3 years in prison, the maximum potential sentence was 18 years.
So what's swirling around the internet, and again, it is a sealed case, so we do not know. Bronwyn on the episode says the charges weren't even about her, they were about somebody else, which to lay people like us doesn't really make sense, because why would your name be attached to it? But what's swirling is that Bronwyn was allegedly fired mid-2018 for theft. She was an administrative assistant, allegedly making fraudulent purchases on corporate cards, buying flights for internals, but really booking for family, buying designer stuff, upwards of $100K. The expense team had to go back years. We don't know. This could be something that was fabricated and everything like that. You know, if it's sealed, a lot of people feel like she's the one who sealed it. So it could be something different. Somebody could be creating this. It's almost like if you sealed it and it's not that bad, just say what it is.
Right.
Because people can create, like everything I just said could be created and totally wrong. But when you don't say what it is, we don't know.
Well, interesting enough, she also is saying that the reports online are a combination of a past college mistake and then a separate, more recent sealed case. So the college mistake that she's referring to was that she got an eviction notice from BYU when she got kicked out because she was pregnant, which would have been about 20 years ago. That was later settled. And she has been publicly denying any recent criminal behavior. So obviously the cast has doubts about what's really happened. A big part of it has to do with the timeline and what actually happened with the San Francisco case, whether the charges were actually against her, how the case was resolved. Because, you know, or maybe you don't, but, you know, when there are depending on the law enforcement or the prosecuting attorney, cases can be sealed so that, you know, nobody can find them. I think maybe only law enforcement can look at sealed cases, but pretty much like it's like they don't exist. And that, you know, certain prosecutors will make those deals. So we probably will never know unless somebody illegally gets a hold of that. So
I mean, she makes it sound like she was a witness. It was somebody else who committed the crime. I do think that if it was some sort of workplace theft, somebody could pay to make it go away and seal it, right? If the company is being like, all right, well, you owe us X amount, pay it plus 10% interest and right? So
yeah.
Do we believe that it was all somebody else's crime and the college thing was all about an eviction? I forget. I saw stuff online that it wasn't even about an eviction. But whatever the college thing was 20 years ago. So like, I'll let that go. She was a new mom. But
well, I think it's freaking awful that she would have gotten evicted from
yeah,
college
exactly.
and kicked out for being pregnant. But I guess that's a violation of the honor code.
I just feel, and I could be naive, I also couldn't believe about Wendy and Eddie, but
yeah.
I don't think, because this is filed under a penal code that's has a wide array, right?
Yeah.
I don't believe that her alleged involvement is as bad as what the worst case scenario could be. Do you? Like
no.
Identity theft. They're big words that to me, I'm kind of like, okay.
But if as what's been circulating, again, allegedly, all of this is allegedly, is that she faked invoices, was buying flights for her family and then changing them to be somebody else's name, that would count as identity theft. So, you know, it's not the same as, you know, getting a hold of somebody's social security number and getting credit cards under their name and buying all this stuff saying you're somebody else. But it is still a crime. I do find it interesting that if Todd is as wealthy as he is in 2025 and 2024 when we first met Bronwyn on the show, arguably he would have been pretty wealthy back in 2018, I guess, when this would have happened. So that's the part that just seems so odd to me.
When did they get married? I forget.
Because
it could be that she did this before they were married and like got caught later when they looked, because that does happen at companies when they looked back at expenses and he was like, all right, make this go away.
I'm going to Google it really quick.
Here's my thing while you're Googling it. I am with Meredith here. I do think, well, I think it's totally possible that Lisa dug this up. Why is nobody at all concerned about what Bronwyn actually did?
I agree.
Nobody at that dinner. Like,
oh, so by the way, they got married in 2016. Remember how we got tea from somebody who was like, I was at the wedding. It was at Oracle Park where the Giants play. Remember? And Natasha Bedingfield. Yes.
Listen, it could totally be that they got married then and she committed these crimes before in 2014, 2015. And she got caught years later. She wasn't even working at the company anymore and he made it go away.
Yeah.
All totally possible.
Yeah.
But the women don't seem to care. They just want to prove that Lisa outed this.
Right.
Which at what point? I mean, we see it on OC. We see it on Salt Lake City now. The actual situation that we should be focusing on is what Bronwyn did.
Yeah.
Not who got the news out that they did it. Because we are at a point in reality television where the power of the internet, people having access to databases, let's focus on Kim and Croy bankrupting themselves, not on the fact that Bravo and Cocktails posted about it and told Nene. Like, you do know what I'm saying?
I know
like,
what you mean.
That shouldn't be the story. The story shouldn't be, did Katie tell Kiki? The story should be, did Tamara drug Gretchen? Do you understand?
Yeah. Bronwyn was doing a good job of the deflection.
Right. And they're all doing that because that serves them. Because then the person being accused, like if I were on the show and I were Lisa or I were Katie, I would be like, who the hell cares if I told a blogger or not told a blogger or whatever? The fact remains, we all see the footage of the drunk, wasted night. The fact remains, you do have a sealed case and the penal code is grand theft auto, identity fraud, etc. Let's focus on the identity fraud, honey, and the fact that you have a sealed case, honey. Let's not focus on me Googling in a system because if I did, you can't prove it because every content creator on Twitter has reposted it. So who knows? And guess what? You could doctor a DM and say I sent it to them. So who cares? Because whether I put it out there or not, it's out there and you have a sealed case against you. Focus back on that. Like, why aren't we bringing the conversation back to that? And even though Meredith does say that, Meredith doesn't bring the conversation there. So she really wanted to help. Like, Meredith is weak sauce on both sides because she's not going against Lisa, but she's also not because Lisa is in such a hysterical state. She can't redirect. So if Meredith were a real friend with all of her knowledge and what she said in the room with Whitney and Heather and hello, she's an attorney, I would back my friend up and be like, I don't really want to discuss if Lisa got it out there. I want to discuss what Bronwyn did. Bronwyn, why can't you discuss it? Answer whether you sealed it or not. Was it you and Todd that sealed the case? You can't share it because it's sealed? Did you seal it? And Meredith knows better than me or you what she can and can't ask as an attorney. So why are we not going there, Meredith? Because you're just weak sauce. Bye. See you later. Why are you on the show?
Well...
Seriously, like I got a lawyer on the cast. Use your freaking shit.
Wow.
Make some shit happen or get the hell off the table.
Look, we have such smart lawyers who listen to us, and they're so
can we
so
cast
gracious.
one of them on the Housewives?
Well, here's my question for the lawyers, for the really smart lawyers. Is, guys, isn't it true, and this is just what I think, this is not my legal opinion, but isn't it true that if somebody is innocent of something that and that the authorities figure that out, that they drop the charges, not seal the case, right? Usually if a case is sealed, there's some deal that's been made with the authorities and then they seal it as part of that deal.
Right.
Makes me wonder.
I
mean, one of your best rants ever.
Bye.
Bye.
And there were no curses. I don't think I cursed in a rant. Oh my God, I'm getting so PG rated.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
We know how you really are, though. It does make me wonder, though, honestly, what else Bronwyn is hiding.
And I will say this. I do know that Bronwyn reached out to fan accounts because people reposted it.
Yeah.
And said, I will sue any content creator who posts about it. So, here's the thing with that. Here's my thing with that. You, a big grown adult woman who has broken the law, allegedly, go on a television show. Don't DM me, and she didn't DM me because honestly, I saw this stuff and it was sealed and I posted what I could, what I saw, which was public knowledge, whatever, and she didn't DM me. But you're not going to intimidate me in my DMs when you are a public figure on a reality show that is about your reality life and I am reposting or discussing things you've done in your life. If you don't want that to happen, don't go on the show. Once you do, I'm not going to get sealed for reposting something that's in a public database. Thank you, but have a nice fucking day. So you go on the show, you go on, it's it's 2025, about to be 2026, okay? You know there are content creators. You better button your shit up, or like Marge, get ahead of it and be like, hey, I'm on a reality show. By the way, I left my first husband for my second husband. He was my plumber. I broke up his marriage too. Some of my stepkids don't talk to me as a result. His kids didn't like me for a while, but they moved on. So there it is. It's out.
She put it all out there, and we respect the hell out of it.
And there may be people who didn't like her, and they were like, oh, she's a homework or whatever, but nobody could come for her. She didn't have to sit around and worry that somebody was going to say it and then deny it. And no.
It put her in a power position versus I'm just waiting for these skeletons to come out, and whoever brings it up gets the power.
And if I were Bronwyn, I would be like, listen, I'm just going to get this out here since I'm the one who brought up Lisa's lawsuits. I actually have something. It's from a workplace situation. It really wasn't involving me, and it's sealed, so there's not much I could say. But eventually somebody's going to dig it up on me, so there it is. Because if she did that, it is sealed.
Right.
So nobody can do it.
Right.
So why didn't she get ahead of it? You know, we should start advising housewives. That's going to be my next thing.
Yeah.
Like, when
Don't
you join,
commit fraud.
let me give you some advice.
And if you did commit fraud, just bring it up and tell us about it from the beginning.
Right. Get ahead of it.
And certain kinds of fraud seem to be more audience friendly than others.
Okay. So, Danielle, if you did, in fact, home wreck, just say it, because once you lie, you know very well that your boyfriend's wife is going to be a guest on our pod. So, getting it out there.
That is so true. We had somebody on Discord who was following somebody who they were like, you should call Bravo and Cocktails, because they were talking, I won't say which housewife, that this creator was talking about how one of the housewives did in fact reach out to her and was talking about it, has proof, has receipts, has timelines. And the person is like, yeah, I would love to come on your pod, but that's not really quite where we go. We don't usually go into that kind of stuff.
Oh,
I think there's other podcasters who do that.
You'll have to tell me offline, because I missed that.
Okay.
I have to tell you, I don't really have housewives threaten me, and I post the most scandalous shit, because I either make it a blind where you know who it is, but I don't name them, or it's shit that's going to come out, and that if you try to sue me, you actually can't sue me because it's true.
Right.
You can't sue me for slandering you when you actually have something that happened.
Yeah.
So good luck with that, though.
Yeah. I gotta say, too, before we wrap this whole conversation up, I'm just a little disappointed. I really, really liked Bronwyn, and now I just feel like she's kind of no different.
I'm not, and I'm going to tell you why. I think meeting Muzzy, is that her name?
Yeah, her mom.
I think that she has like a lot of, she's got a lot of trauma. And like, people make mistakes. I don't, whatever she did was definitely done before she was married to Todd, and she was a single mom, and she had to rely on a woman who hung it over her head every single day of her life. So like, if she pulled some shit, I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me think she's a bad person.
It's not so much that
And I think she'd be more honest if it weren't for Todd, and Todd being like, nobody can ever know anything that you've done anything bad, because if they know you've done anything bad, then it's going to reflect poorly on me and my job.
I think I just liked that she kind of came in as the voice of reason amongst so much delusion, who would call some of the things out that we all think are cuckoo about some of these women. But it seems like there's delusion with her there too. And especially, like you said, in her personal relationships, it seemed like there's a lot of delusion there as well, at least as it looks to us watching through the camera. So yeah. I'm disappointed. She was really my favorite new housewife for a long time, which, by the way, Andy, I think this was this on the Call Her Daddy? I can't remember. He said that he thinks Brittany Bateman is both the most thirsty of all of the housewives, but also one of the best new cast additions in a while.
Ugh, disagree. I really liked her last season. I liked her quirkiness and seeing her in a limited capacity, but I know they're casting in Salt Lake City, and they're talking to some real money folks. Adios. See you when we see you. I'm okay with her at a dinner to see some of her stupidity, but not all the time.
I watch her constantly and think, if I were forced to be at a dinner or on a trip with her, I would have a very, very, very hard time keeping my face neutral and not rolling my eyes and keeping my jaw shut.
I just know that I wouldn't be able to accomplish that. So that would be that. We would not be friends.
I guess you and I would get banished to the little back raft that Lisa was sitting on while she was calling John to come pick her up in the middle of the ocean.
Let's talk next gen.
Okay, let's do it.
We saw that Brooke Shields' daughter was filming. We posted about that. Very exciting. And so after we posted about it, we received this email. Brooke Shields' daughter, Rowan, is joining the cast. Brooke, Teresa, Candy, and Meredith are scheduled to film a scene with their daughters. Hudson won't be in an official capacity. He was in New York again. He's here right now. Him and Ariana were out to eat because he shared a picture of her holding that Opus wine that they like with her nails. So he's going to be a guest to follow their breakup storyline, or is it a get back together storyline? Besides Rowan, expect 1 or 2 other newbies in an official capacity. This season will also be longer with at minimum 14 episodes and a reunion. But there's more because I just got this intel right before we hopped on and you don't even know it yet.
I don't.
The person said, I have a little inside information on Brooke Shields' daughter joining Next Gen. Brooke Shields' other daughter, not the one joining, is roommates with Teresa's best friend's daughter at college. So Brooke's daughter got on the show through the connection. The Giudices are close with the roommate's family, and from there it evolved to the other Shields sister being considered, and obviously she had an in as a Nepo baby because she was Brooke Shields' daughter. But yeah.
Brooke Shields on a Bravo show is huge news.
Huge news.
Huge.
But we're not surprised because once we saw the ratings, Brooke Shields is like, I'm not even going to try to get her on the LA version because everybody wants that. But you know what? Imagine how funny it is. Brooke Shields using her daughter's connection through Teresa Giudice to get on a Bravo show. You know what, Teresa? Good for you. Pat yourself on the back for that one.
The Nepo babies are coming out of the woodwork.
And we love it.
I can't wait. I cannot wait to see Brooke Shields because I've always really enjoyed her. She's got a funny kind of wry sense about herself. And do you remember her show, Suddenly Susan?
I remember it, but I never watched it.
It was, I don't know if it was a spinoff of Friends. But I mean, she's been such a big television and movie star.
I mean, she's like A-list, isn't she? I would think of her as A-list.
I would think so too. And I don't know. I think she's fabulous. So I'm way more excited about that than any of the other stuff.
And I think we said it last week, but Riley held out for that check and got it. Good for her mother's daughter.
Husband seems to be coming back in.
I really want them to get back together.
Yeah, or like as you said, maybe they never actually broke up.
I don't believe that because she did move to a new apartment.
Yeah.
And I don't think Ariana is not her mother. I don't think she's going to make up a storyline. Like, I think she's living her life authentically. So I think maybe she wanted to kind of do New York City on her own. And maybe he didn't love living here. Like, he's a billionaire from a mansion in Georgia. Maybe he's like, I don't really want to live in the city. Well, it's not their everybody.
He's working in the family business back at home. I have no idea if that's what
he doesn't look like he works.
He doesn't. I agree. He does not.
I like him. I just have this like sneaking suspicion that Ariana's going to hook up with Charlie. I just feel it. And you guys are in my DMs telling me to stop putting it out there. But I'm just telling you, I think she's going to get this out of her system. And like, not necessarily Charlie is going to be one of them, but just like, because they've been together since they're little.
Yeah. I agree. And I think everyone kind of needs a little time to be free in their 20s and single.
But Hudson definitely wants us to know that he's in town to hang out with her because he specifically posts he's in town for 48 hours. Mm-hmm. He then posts her holding the wine bottle. I don't see Ariana doing any of those sneaky posts because I feel in this situation, she has the upper hand. She's the one who asked for space. This is, I don't know this. I'm just saying I'm a girl and I feel that like it was hard for her and she doesn't want to hurt him because she loves him, but she also isn't ready to completely settle down.
Yeah, we don't know why they broke up, but it definitely seems like he's coming around more.
And it definitely seems like if she wanted to be with him officially, she could be. And like, good for her for not just following the bag of money like I'm sure her mother wants her to, and actually being like, you know what? I don't know that I want that yet.
Yeah. Which, speaking of her mother, this divorce that her boyfriend Kyle is involved in, we reported this on the website. he took $100 million and put the money in the investments in a trust before the divorce got filed.
Yes.
Isn't that wild? That's so much money.
But like, so that his wife wouldn't get any of it?
God, just give her half of it. Just give her half of that and she'll be like, the greed and the audacity.
Well, I just hope to God that he doesn't get away with that shit.
Or that if he does, that Kim spends it all and that she comes his way.
She will. We love you guys. Please remember, I think we're going to have another podcast before BravoCon.
Yes.
But please remember, send us the tea.
Yes, bookmark that page or put our emails in your inbox, fire up your Discord, take pictures, take videos.
Route.
Yes.
And
yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
What's up, cocktailers? We want to thank you, as always, for listening to Cocktails and Gossip. Because of you, we've hit some amazing milestones, had some hilarious conversations, and have grown a truly amazing community. If you haven't already followed our podcast, hit the follow button in the top right of your Apple Podcast player, the follow button under the show logo on Spotify, or the subscribe button on Google Podcasts. We thrive on you, our audience. So make sure to tell all your gossip-loving friends about us too. And if you want to get all the tea, join our membership cocktail party by going to bravoandcocktails.com/join. Our members get access to the exclusive tea we post, the weekly podcast without ads, plus another additional bonus podcast every week. And of course, members also get to join us on our monthly live cocktail party Zoom, where we talk about the latest tea and even share tea that's just too hot to put in writing. Last, but maybe best, our members get access to the Cocktail Party Discord, where you can chat with Amanda, me, and all of the other cocktailers as well. There are always some great convos and hilarious comments happening in Discord. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate you.